Hello, happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Couch. Dr. Shiloh, I'm here with, this guy right here.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Scott playing with Snapchat filters. So, who knows what's going to happen?
You guys have actually missed the real pregame show.
I was trying out different eye colors. Oh my gosh, people are popping on! Yay!
Do the Amy Winehouse one again.
Oh God, I had to go deep into Snapchat for that.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
Did we go live on Facebook? Because I'm nuts.
Yep, the link went out. Hey, Jason. Ooh, get vocal. Sent us 100 Vcoin. Thanks.
Oh my God. Oh,
Esther.
We're excited for your show. Thank you. Hey, Esther.
So tonight is going to be all sorts.
Camila Cabello and Sean Mendez together. Esther, you are racking up some points, lady. Let me tell you, some good points. Very kind.
We have a really cool show today, and I found some even cooler stuff right before we hopped on. So yes, we see. Well, okay, so Hollyweird Paranormal is going to be joining us. I did see you guys, and then Bryce, I see you on there. So we're going to have them hop on in just a moment. But first, we got to do our patron shout out. So I'll go first this time. We want to thank our new patrons who are Nicole H., Leslie B., Michelle. What's up, Michelle? Thank you. Wes, personal friend and colleague, fellow negotiator, Wes. Mary G. and Bridget Y. Thank you guys so much. And Scott has some to read as well. So
thank you to Melissa, Kelly M., Tia M., Death by Champagne, the Champagne ladies. I heart them so much. Kristen K., and Megan C. I can't believe you guys are subscribing, but you're the best. And I'm telling you, Shiloh and I have had multiple conversations about, we got to make sure that we are raising the bar and, giving your money's worth. So thank you. And we're going to endeavor to add even more content and stuff to make it worth your while. But thank you for showing up on a Saturday afternoon and early evening, wherever you are.
Yeah, it's been fun seeing people get their challenge coins too and posting them. So, right, Esther? I mean, more, they're challenge coins, not badges, but.
You know what I kind of have? I don't okay, I'm going to be very careful about how I say this, but, in our episode on stalking, I tell the story of Dominic from Lord of the Rings that I had spent hours in a dark room watching hours and hours and hours of interviews with him. And when I accidentally ran into him on the street, I had this weird glitch in my brain, I knew him. And of course he's who's this freak talking to me? So anyway, I just want to say, not that I'm anywhere on the level of Dominic Monaghan, nor will I ever be, but I can't wait till I see each and every one of you in person. Esther, Shannon, I can't wait till we get back to live conventions so that we can see people, because this is a great community.
Same. Yeah, it's going to feel a lot different. It's going to be great. So what are you guys doing this weekend? This is normally the weekend that I go to my one annual EDM festival. Yes, I know I'm in my 40s, but I literally lay down $1,000. I lay down
you're barely
$1,000 for a cabana, so I don't have to be near people too much. But I'm so sad it's not happening. Scott, are your eyebrows real?
Esther, you are the best.
Or are they a filter?
No, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the filter. I thought this was just the sun-kissed filter.
Oh my gosh.
Plus this is the greatest thing I've ever invested in. Look, guys, $8 on Amazon. One side's gold, one side's silver. So it kind of reflects the natural light here. Oh God, Esther, you are damn, we're going to have to buy her a drink or a lot of drinks.
I know. Yeah.
Shannon's all zenned out for massage. Nice. That's great. Oh, you know what I did last week? I was telling Shiloh about this before is like, I'm a huge fan of body work. Like, I just think that, like, it is so important. And once a year, I do 10 sessions every week, like a session a week for 10 weeks of rolfing, which is literally like the most painful experience. Like, you just feel like they're digging into your tendons and playing them like a banjo.
Well, that's what they're doing, and yet, right? Do they
basically
use equipment
are.
Or just their hands?
No, it's always thumb and elbow. And I mean, I screamed out "Sweet Jesus," which is not something I usually scream, but it's the most amazing experience because you feel like, okay, I'm going to look like hamburger meat, and then you walk out of there just feeling like you're 4 inches taller. It was great. But for the weekend, we also have I'm here in Los Angeles where I'm near a place called The Grove, which is an outdoor mall that looks like sort of a European early or sort of Victorian walkway with a bunch of shops. Right. And I had my first really sort of non-work, non-home quarantine today. I went out and met a friend for lunch, and everybody was wearing masks, and all the tables were outside with tons of airflow. And I'm telling you, it was great. Our friend Michelle, that we work on projects together, awesome. was like really excited. She said, "This is the first time in 4 months that I've, been outdoor around people," right. And it was pretty great.
That's nice. That's nice.
Is anybody else out there are you able to socialize? Wait, Adam, sounds like a nightmare. Yeah. Adam, it is like the raw thing. It hurts like hell, and it's absolutely worth it. I swear to God, it's worth it. I can't say enough good things about it. Like especially for my creaky, crusty old body that's literally falling apart. Yeah. So
yeah. All right, I think we have a lot to get to today. So I'm going to open these up. I see you, Bryce. Grab a spot when I open them up. Tammy, you're under the Hollyweird account, so just grab one of those 2 spots. Hopefully it's working for Tammy. She was having a little bit of trouble. And then we will have you guys introduce yourselves. I'm
Tammy. Oh my God. It's so good to see you. Right. Oh my God.
Here he
Bryce.
comes.
I can't wait to see Bryce.
Bryce.
And Bryce has the beard back, the beard that I'm so jealous of. God, he has the best beard.
Thank you.
Hello,
so sad. I just hide it with a mask all the time.
I know.
Okay, I can look. I can do the fake one here with Snapchat.
It looks good though.
I love it. It looks real.
Oh my God. This is not Snapchat.
No. Just get yourself a couple of tattoo sleeves, and you just wear all black, and you can blend in with the Brothers of Ghost Adventures.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah,
yes.
I could just
a little bit of
stand
gel.
in a haunted hallway. Stand in a haunted hallway. Scream! Oh no, I have to really spike the hair.
Spike the hair. Wear a shark tooth necklace, and you're fine.
Oh my God! I miss your guys.
And scream! Come at me! Come at me! Oh God!
Not okay. Not okay. Hi guys, welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
It's so good to see you guys. I mean,
it's great to see you too.
I know. And full circle, Scott just talking about the Grove. I was like, oh, that's where we all first met in person.
That is so funny. I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking about Emma Roberts, and then we saw Emma Roberts and
with the guy that's
Peters.
Always in.
Yeah, I can't remember his
Peters,
name. Evan Peters. Yeah.
Yes, it was an American Horror Story party. Trying to eat our pancakes and not stare at them.
I failed. I was just like in the corner staring straight at her.
That's true.
You two are toxic. You need to get away from each other.
I know. I was like, don't be with each other.
I know.
Like, sir, we're at a breakfast restaurant.
Well, yeah. Please, will you guys introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about your show for people that may not have heard it?
We are Hollyweird Paranormal Podcast. My name is Tammy Merhab Chavez.
I'm Bryce Mitchell-Williams. We love 3 names.
Yes, because we are based out of LA.
Yeah.
Or a serial killer.
Or both.
We talk about Hollywood true crime and its paranormal association. We spill the tea on a lot of other things, but we talk about everything that's weird in this crazy city of LA. And trust me, it's gotten weirder now. So
yeah.
Yeah, it has. And I think I was trying to think how we actually first connected. And I think it was when we both did cult episodes really early on.
Yes.
That was it.
And I mean, cults unite, just that's what they do. But look at what they've done here.
I mean, that really is sort of how Tammy and I met, is ultimately when you start talking about things that we sort of deem taboo, cults, paranormal, true crime,
Right.
any of those things, it really is the great unifier. And you start even bringing up one or two of those things, and people every time, without fail, oh, I have a story. Oh, I have a story. This happened to me when I was younger. This happened to me that I can't explain it. And that's sort of how, you know, not only did we meet you all, but how we even got started. As like, oh, everyone has a story. This city is full of stories to tell and to explore.
Yeah.
Well, but I want to jump in and say that unlike a gazillion other podcasts, you guys, your research is spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not a thread of bullshit in any of it. And I just admired that because, you know, I'm a believer. I know Shiloh's more of an agnostic about this. I've had weird experiences myself, but I love, you know, like you guys break it down every single time. I thought that the Winchester episode, the Winchester Mystery House episode, I didn't even know half that shit that you were talking about, like the fact versus the myth. And I think that, you know, in today's world, if anybody can just grab a microphone and say whatever bullshit they want to, it's really important that you guys are delineating what is true and factual versus what there's no research on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We usually get a lot. We get some pushback that we don't do enough, but that means a lot that we are doing something.
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, we're just two people who are passionate about it, but it's certainly not like, I don't have a PhD, so...
Yeah, so
you know what I mean? Like, we're just trying to do our best, I think.
Well, we get those messages, too. I got one last week that was like, this person is actually from Wales, not England, and so check yourselves. And I was like, all right.
Well, you know what? On one hand, like, and I understand that certainly in Great Britain, you would need to be very careful about those different areas because they are really super strict about it. But like, for her to end her little statement on, instead of just going, "Hey guys, just want to let you know the difference between these two," but for her to end it with "check yourself." Like, shit. Okay.
Done.
Sorry.
Oh, I know. Don't even get them started on football. That's another beast.
Oh,
That's like, do you have something you want to say about Manchester United? What?
Oh my God. Well, how are you guys doing in this day and age of COVID?
Pretty good. I mean, like just trying to find balance and stuff and other ways to kind of escape. But I mean, we're both very lucky to be working and having jobs and able to pay our bills, you know, but it's scary. It really is. You know, I was talking to my husband, there's this mass exodus now of people leaving. Like, we're driving to get coffee this morning. Every single complex on our street has for rent signs.
Same on ours.
Something I've never seen before ever living here is the incentives. Like, first month for free, no, you know, security deposit. I'm like, what is going on? You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's I feel, you know, I have friends who invested in rental apartments and, you know, I wish, you know, they're struggling, but that's not the majority. Most landlords are doing pretty good. But not to completely pump sunshine up anybody's rear, but one of the outcomes from COVID will be a great equalizer in commercial real estate. It's going to change the face because commercial real estate has been ridiculously priced in many big cities across the U.S. for years. So getting that evened out and more equitable for people is going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
Adam, I'm waiting for the American refugees next year.
I know. He's from New Zealand. He's our New Zealand guy. So I said, we're thinking about it. Please sponsor us. Vouch for Scott and I, please. You have a wonderful prime minister over there. So
that's the thing is, like, every day I vacillate between, like, I should flee to every country that's not here, or like I should stay and fight like Mel Gibson in The Patriot. Like, what is my option today? Like,
I mean, those are two extremes, but somewhere in the middle.
Stable. It's really a stable response to what's happening.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. So we are here to talk about basically a topic that Scott and I did in episode 37, which we talked about familicide. And we, of course, had to talk about Lizzie Borden. And her name always comes up when people are talking about killers and serial killers, but she was actually acquitted. Scott's going to give us a little rundown of her story. And then I'm going to go into a little bit more of familicide history in her family. And then we're going to hear from you guys about some paranormal stuff linked to this. So, Scott, you want to start off?
Well, I'm completely unprepared.
The text message.
I did not prepare that. Look, so.
God.
So, I'm going to go strictly from the made-for-TV movie where Lizzie was played by Elizabeth Montgomery.
Oh, perfect. That'll be a great representation of it.
Which was excellent, by the way, and scary as shit. I don't know if most people remember, like, most of you are too young to remember this, but a lot of TV movies back in, like, the late 70s through early 80s were actually really, really good. But Lizzie Borden is a famous Fall River, Massachusetts? Yeah, Fall River, Massachusetts. A young woman of privilege, but in a household that was run by a very eccentric and odd father who was literally a control freak over every aspect of their lives. And one of the most important historical contexts is to remember that this was happening sort of right after the Victorian times. There were very rigid social constructs about how women were expected to act in public. We're talking the middle of summer when this crime occurred, so no air conditioning, a very, very hot summer. Women are all, if you were of the upper crust, you wear a corset, you wear a high neck dress, layers of wool and muslin, not the most breathing of clothing at that time. There was also a lot of stress in the home from a stepmother, if I'm correct, right? Stepmother?
Yes.
And so basically, suddenly there's a murder, and there's a double murder, and there is a murder of Lizzie's stepmother and her father. A lot of mystery about who did it. There are two daughters, Lizzie and her sister. There's a maid, or like an Irish sort of indentured maid servant there at the home. And it was the trial of the century at its time. And it was the trial of the century because it involved a woman and because it involved murder. So all these things just led towards an enormous media presence that really would be unheard of at that time. Today, in our instant news cycle, we're used to these kind of things all the time, kind of flashing up in our media presence for a while and then disappearing. This one went on for a very long time. Lizzie was acquitted of the murders of her father and stepmother. However, she became a pariah of the town. She was ostracized. She had a very close relationship with her sister, and the stress of the trial really affected their relationship to where her sister finally moved away.
Yeah, but Lizzie stayed living in Fall River for the rest of her life.
She didn't leave, and I kind of love that about her. Like, no matter, everything leads to the fact that she did commit the murders.
It's very,
even though there are a lot of different theories.
Yeah, she moved into the next town, the Hill, and bought Maplecroft.
It was a bigger mansion, right? Wasn't it
it was a huge Queen Anne Victorian. She was like, if I'm gonna leave, it's gonna be in this big house. So
it was kind of like a screw you to her dad, right? Because one of the things I remember that was really, as a teenager, remembering this about the TV movie, which actually plays a big part in the trial itself, was, and this there's a parallel to Joan Crawford in Mommy Dearest, is that they were, they were eating the same leg of mutton over a period of days, despite the heat. So it was like early morning, she walks into breakfast and there's this godforsaken, gnawed-on hunk of mutton, cold mutton stew for breakfast. I got to tell you, that would make me snap.
Oh, yeah. In a hot second. If you're already wearing a collared dress and your dad won't let you use, electricity in the house. That would do it.
You're asking yourself, I need to let out this corset.
That's my drunk history version of it. You guys fill in. You got to fill in the facts that I missed, because I know you always have the receipts.
No, Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
You know, Lizzie, I mean, she never referred to her mom as her stepmom as mom.
No.
It was always, Abby.
Abby.
You know,
And she was a
Abby.
much younger woman.
I feel like Lizzie Borden is like the Menendez brothers. She was a complete FOMO. She was like, well, they all get to spend money and, have little lemon tarts and I don't. So, to a certain point she snapped, especially with her father being super frugal and also having other ties outside of the household, like other, I guess, arrangements that were not in his favor. So, yeah, I mean, you pretty much like shrunken down into one big summary for that.
And I think too, like one of the things that is so prevalent throughout this whole like dynamic of this house, like with the maid and with the family, is that he was so like viciously strict. Like I think in all the things that you like read about, they're actually quite wealthy, and yet they were like, you had mentioned
they had to ask for money for the most basic things, right?
And they were living in like poverty essentially. Yes, in a nice house, but even by the standard of that day, not that nice of a house for how wealthy they were. And he was just incredibly cruel, incredibly strict. They had a staff and yet were still like in charge of like so much manual labor. Like they really were like hired help in this like very stern, abusive kind of environment. Even the stepmother, it's not like she came in and Cinderella'd this issue. She was also sort of like captive to his sort of
this domain of like running this household of 5 women, sort of.
Exactly.
Or 4 women.
It's very stereotypical, and it's funny because as you now sort of we look at it through our modern lens, she's become this like interesting feminist icon of like, So I saw someone earlier had asked, like, did they mention why like the murders happened? And like the answer is we don't know, but you can kind of start imparting all these things of like, okay, but everyone has a breaking point, and this situation was like the nth degree, a perfect storm of like the heat, the poverty, the abuse, the family dynamics, the patriarchy. Like, don't get me started on the patriarchy,
Right.
And I think you're saying something that's so important a bit, because it's all about context. And I beat this horse to death all the time, but in training about, the incidents of mass violence, no one ever snaps, even though we have, shows called Snapped and we talk about people just kind of losing it. The reality is that the pathway to violence is evolutionary, and something must have been building up in her for a long time on top. And then all these other factors that we're talking about. And plus we don't really, it's because of the patriarchy and because of this sort of skewed view of history and women at that time, we don't know if she was eccentric or weird or if she had any quirks. We just don't know that because nobody was paying attention to it before this crime, right?
Well, and then who's writing about it afterwards? Probably a bunch of male journalists covering the trial.
A jury of all men.
Yeah, they're getting to paint a picture of her however they want. So, and that's what we're left
100%.
with. That's all we have as far as resources to be able to, sort of paint our picture of her.
Shannon writes, I snap daily.
Yeah, see? No one ever just does it out of the blue. I mean,
my friend Paige that I went to college with that works in Atlanta, she said the advantage of having to wear a mask every day is that she can mutter under her breath, what the fuck, without people noticing,
I feel that on a
which usually gets her in trouble. So,
so that was in 1892. And I don't think we mentioned that, somebody murdered Andrew and Abby with an axe. So very brutal, very violent. Also a source of the defense's strategy was that, could this dainty, fragile woman lift this axe? And, all of the violence that was behind it.
Oh, it's so... How could I possibly lift this axe?
It's hilarious, Scott, because for me, your video is frozen, but I can hear you.
She could have lifted that axe. Do you know the amount of protein she was eating with that lemon? She was like, look.
Yeah.
She's like, bitches, I got my protein.
She was like, she was the precursor of keto.
Oh my God.
she ate like a mutton, and she went into the bar and
Stop
twerked,
it.
you know?
Oh my God. Okay, so that wasn't the only familicide murder to happen on that property. So previous to Lizzie Borden, let's see here, in 1848, so Lizzie Borden's great uncle was Uncle Lodwick, and he lived in the same home that then became the Borden home. And he had 4 wives, as one does in the, 1840s, because women die in all sorts of ways back then.
Well, they're wearing them out, like doing all that. The housework was basically hard labor.
Maybe that's it, or maybe it was childbirth, Scott. I don't know.
But,
that whole thing.
But his second wife, his second wife was Eliza Darling Borden. And she actually murdered 2 of her 3 children by throwing them down the well on the property. She actually threw all 3 of them down the well.
Do you know what the sexes of those children are?
I know that the one that survived was a girl. I don't know the sexes of the other 2. I think it was a boy and
oh my god! Because
hold that thought.
Oh my god!
Okay.
No, I was trying to figure out that. We'll go into it later.
Put a pin in it. So she murdered 2 of her 3 children, and then she died by suicide right afterwards. And there's some conflicting information about that. The main story is that she was 37 years old. She took her husband's straight razor and sliced her throat up in the attic of the home. So there's this, obviously another familicide that occurred. Is there some inherited madness in this family? What is going on? And then,
or is it like the Amityville Horror House, and there's just so much bad juju in that home that it is soaking through into anybody who moves in? And
then, just to dig a little further back, this didn't happen on the property, but it speaks to their lineage. In 1673 in Rhode Island, Lizzie Borden's direct descendant, she is a 5th great granddaughter of this man named Thomas Cornell. He was hanged for the murder of his mother, Rebecca. And Cornell was 46 years old. He was expecting his 7th child. So if we're talking about stressors to making people snap, his 7th child with his 3rd wife, Sarah, when his mother, Rebecca, was found burned to death. They all lived together. He was tried for this. His mother was 73 at the time of her death. And her brother, so the mom that died, Rebecca, her brother got on the stand to describe a dream in which his sister revealed from the grave that her death was far from accidental. And
as one does.
As one does in the 1600s. Get on the stand and testify to your dream, please.
You got to let the dream evidence in. I mean, otherwise, this trial's a farce. Come on.
So I was texting to Scott earlier. I'm like, hey, I found another murderer in her lineage. And he's like, please just don't tell me that I'm related to them. But but the brother that took the stand, his name is John Briggs, and Briggs is one of my family names. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more Ancestry.com research.
So this is kind of another recurring thing, because I don't think it was the same. I'm going to try and find it. So I apologize for bringing a point up without having.
That's okay. Let me give you one little last tidbit.
Yeah.
Please, I just gave the drug history version of Lizzie Borden. So really, it's only uphill from here as you speak. Right.
So after Thomas was executed for his mother's murder, his wife gave birth to a daughter, and she named the daughter Innocent. Yeah.
Oh.
How about having to walk around with the name Innocent because your daddy murdered your grandmother?
Oh my god, I'm getting vibes right now. Kanye vibes.
Yeah. So I just want to thank History.com and Lizzie Borden Warps and Wefts.com for coming up with that info, because I was like, wow, there's a lot going on with this family. And Scott and I have talked about that before, how the the neuropsychologist that has done a lot of work in psychopathy is an ancestor of Lizzie Borden's. So, and he has some of the genetic markers for psychopathy. So crazy story, but
that is so interesting because we constantly hear this repetitive story about like why and how she killed her or could have killed her family. We never go way back, way down into her lineage. And this is so enlightening to hear and interesting. I did not know
you have to
this.
also think about, she was an intelligent woman. I mean, we'll never know if she was eccentric, which would have placed her sort of in another diagnostic category. But if there was some psychopathy there, one of the things that, once again, going back to the TV movie, is the amount of planning that had to go into it. Like, it was timed really well. Like, and she got rid of the evidence really well. And one of the theories is that she did it naked.
Yes.
Is that she stripped down in the basement, walked through the house naked, killing them so that she could get the blood off her skin. And then, whatever, I think there was one petticoat or something that was found in the furnace that was burned.
Right. Yes. And a little bit of blood. She was able to tell them it was menstrual blood. But how are they going to tell? Like, whose is it back then?
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't have that DNA and evidence or testing. They even brought that up in the 2018 Lizzie movie with Kristen Stewart and Chloe Sevigny.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Bryce. Wow. I mean, that is a good
Did you find
theory.
What you were looking for, Bryce?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, in regards to people being related to her, so in the 70s TV movie, the woman who played Lizzie Borden was like distant Elizabeth Montgomery. Thank you. Yeah. She is like a sixth cousin. They're like sixth cousins once removed or something obscene like that.
Oh my gosh.
You really could be related.
Yeah. I'm going to look into it and all the free time that I have.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, your plate's so empty.
I know.
That's something I love too, is like reading about the trial. If like, I think in a very like selfish kind of way, if time travel ever were real, I would just go back to like the turn of the century and be like a doctor with like a general knowledge of like what vitamin C can do,
right?
Or like a general understanding of like
a
general understanding of hand washing.
Or like, you're magic. What are you?
Literally, and in this trial, I'm like, why did they not question that like alibi? And I have like a very like base level, like, I wouldn't like do anything to like alter history. I'd just go back and be like the greatest prosecution lawyer at the turn of the century. Because like they're just letting people be like, oh no, I'm sorry, I burnt my dress because I had wet paint on it.
Right.
Oh God.
As one does.
Yeah. It's just like so silly.
There was what was the Clive? Who's the Clive? It's Clive Owen. Clive Owen had a series just a couple of seasons ago. 2 seasons, Victorian show.
Oh yeah, that's the Nick.
Oh,
the Nick.
Yes.
Right. So it's really disturbing because it illustrates about medicine at that time and how they just did not really understand the concept of germs. And in psychology, when we're learning about this, I remember one of the most gory examples that was used in a class was that a doctor that had done an autopsy on a pregnant woman had found like, oh, this uterus is very interesting. I'll just look at it at home after dinner. So he like kind of picks up the severed body part and puts it in the pocket of his overcoat. No gloves because they didn't exist at the time. I mean, surgical gloves, and just sort of, contamination was unreal at that time. It's no wonder that earlier guy you were talking about went through so many lives. Like septic shock, just dying right and left.
There's a book, The Trial of Lizzie Borden, which is fantastic, and it's taken from all of the newspaper articles and that was done at the time. It really informed our episode that we did. So
thank you for listening to this fantastic show on the Crawlspace Media Network.
We want to talk to you about another show on the Crawlspace Media Network.
There are thousands of missing person cases in the United States, but few have captured the attention, imagination, and passion that Maura Murray's 2004 disappearance has. It was even the subject of the Oxygen Network's 6-part series, The Disappearance of Maura Murray.
And Tim, no one knows this better than you and I because we started working on a documentary about Maura Murray in 2013, and this was an exploration into the fascinating world of citizen detecting. We started the podcast 2 years later and soon realized that we could do more in bringing answers to Maura's case as well as other cold cases.
That's right, and the Maura Murray case has raised many ethical and social questions. How do we, as true crime media, interact with law enforcement, family and friends of victims, potential persons of interest?
And how do we know when we've crossed that ever-elusive line between ethics and entertainment? These are the issues that we deal with.
So join us for the journey that is the Missing Maura Murray podcast. We started it in 2015. There are over 100 episodes on the disappearance of Maura Murray. We traveled to the site of her disappearance. We received actual threats. We hiked a mountain, and we head to Canada with an obsessed journalist.
So listen as the show grows and matures with support from a network of peers in the true crime arena.
Listen to Missing Maura Murray on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
But anyway, I want to turn it over to you guys to talk about the spooky stuff related to Lizzie.
Oh, yes. So what happened, or what is happening, or has been happening, not only in the Lizzie Borden house in Fall River, but also in Maplecroft, where Lizzie, or Lizbeth, because she'd adopted a new name, like everyone does here in LA when they move here. When she moved to the hill. So according to people who have gone and spent the night and investigated in the Lizzie Borden house, they have the number one thing that they have experienced and witnessed and heard are the voices and laughter of children in the attic. So that's why I went mind blown when Shiloh was like, the children that lived there before the Borden family were killed. And it's a little boy and a little girl that is heard, seen, and felt.
Because it's a bed and breakfast now, right?
Yeah.
It's a bed and breakfast.
Seriously, I want to go. I so want to go.
It opened in 1996. It's gone through a second owner. That owner purchased Maplecroft as well. So they own both properties. And they're trying to turn Maplecroft into a bed and breakfast, but they're going to make it very strict and more respectful, trying to alleviate and remind people don't think about the murders. I'll go into it later as to why that is. But there's this weird, and we spoke about this before, especially in our Richard Ramirez case, there's people who are paranerds and history buffs, but there are people who are horror nerds that are just like, yeah, let's go spend a night in the murder house. And it's... I
call those the torture porn people. Yeah. You know, that like...
I don't understand. I'm like, well, these people had lives too. And I mean, this was a pretty horrific thing that you want to go and lay in the place where Abby died and was bludgeoned to death and take a picture on the same couch where, you know, Mr. Borden was murdered. So it's just like, I would feel so odd doing that.
Well, and
one
of the things we talk about so often on our show, and Dr. Scott, you kind of alluded to this, is that everything kind of builds off of itself. And like, I love the phrasing of like, everything is an evolution. And so when you look at cases like this, where Lizzie Borden is now her own entity in our pop culture psyche, like, we have the nursery rhyme and all of these movies and books. Like, she's become so many more things because of how transformative this trial was in American law history. And so you have people who are bringing all of that energy with them into this very small space. And so, you know, it's the people, like you're saying, who want the fear, who want the gore, who want the violence. You have people who want the paranormal communication. You have people that are there for the history. So it's all of these layers. And so then you're also now adding on top of that a history of violence of generations. It just becomes this like swirling vortex. And so then people go to this home to sleep, or Airbnb now, and are experiencing all of these things, some that are often at odds with like what the nature of the person was in life. And it's, in my opinion, because of the things that we bring to it and then end up like taking from those places.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what has been built and established there. And that's where they're trying to take away in Maplecroft. So speaking of that, piggybacking off of that, it is said that if you go into the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast in Fall River, that if you sing the nursery rhyme, Lizzie Borden took an axe, you will be either pushed, scratched, or your hair will get pulled. So that is another thing that people have even gone through it and felt. Another story is the basement is very interesting. So people who've gone to the basement have experienced and captured on camera what looks like a black mist. The energy there is very negative.
Wow.
It's like a get out energy. And they believe, like, could it possibly be the murderer of, the Bordens that is residing there? Or maybe a very bad energy that was left behind, the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
So,
The burning of
that's
the
what
evidence
people
happened
feel.
there, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. On Creepy Universe, and I'll post these pictures on our Instagram, but these two women went to spend the night in the Mr. Borden's suite, which is the only suite that has an adjoining room that is called the Abbey Suite. It's the suite that Abby was found dead, and also it's the it's the only one that has its own bathroom.
Because Andrew was murdered in the parlor,
that,
right? Downstairs. Okay.
Yes.
When he came home from his walk.
So
I think.
Yes.
People believe that if you take money from the dresser that's in the room, because Andrew was a penny pincher, he is going to, get his way with you. Like, he's going to push you. He's going to do something very negative to you. It is out of a sign of respect to put coins on the dresser. People have captured images of like on the mirror of the dresser of what they look like, what they say is possibly Abby. And every time you bring up her name, you bring up the murder, and you're doing a voice session, you will hear a woman murmuring in that room.
I would not leave. I would not leave coins for that man, even in death. Sorry. I'm pretty sure he would buy like a "Make America Great Again" hat with it or something. No.
Oh my god!
No.
Seems like
you got it from eBay. You got it from eBay or something. So another one of the common occurrences in the house too is people will see light orbs and I guess a child's face in the living room or in the attic, going back to the children. So people always want to know, they want to communicate with Lizzie. The problem is Lizzie is not there. Lizzie is claimed to be in Maplecroft. She ain't going nowhere. So if you go and see the episode of Kindred Spirits, which I really like the way they approach this investigation with Chip Coffey. It's Amy Bruni and Matt Berry, but they felt they made communication with who they believe was Lizzie Borden or Lisbeth. And the feeling and the vibe that they get is like, the message is, if you're going to open a bed and breakfast, respect this location and don't bring up the murders, is what they're getting. And that her spirit's here. She's everywhere. Like in the Winchester, like, that woman's spirit's going to be in that house. She ain't going nowhere. This was her place of sanctuary. This was her place where she is going to forever be. So come in with respect and come in with a lot of light and love, because she's going to definitely make her presence known.
So do you think they're going to try and screen people better, that they're going to open it up to, and then leave the other one as I believe the dialogue and the what's going to be presented, especially on the website and before they check in, is please approach this investigation with so they'll
respect.
allow people to still do investigations.
Yeah, they'll still do. I mean, they're going to really ease into it in the very beginning, but that's their intention with this bed and breakfast. It's a beautiful place, but there is a vibe that she's there, and it's proceed with caution. So that's.
I like that. I like that. That's respectful.
Yeah, I like that too.
I mean, we can't get away from the fact that it was a seminal moment in American history. I mean, there's just no escaping that. For Bryce, especially what you're saying, especially in the history of American law. But at the same time, we don't have to glorify. It's kind of what Shiloh is so good about. Like when we talk about mass shootings or mass casualties, we don't want to focus on the killer. We want to focus on that person sort of as an unnamed individual and what are the factors that got them there, rather than adding to the glorification of it. So we can still be interested in it, but like you said, Tammy, realize that these yes, it's 100 years out, but they were living, breathing human beings with lives and hopes and dreams that were never realized.
Very well said.
Yes. And I feel like in some way, like Lisbeth was, a victim herself of a lot of things. I don't know, we haven't touched on, there was that rumor that it was possible that her father, sexually abused her and her sister. And
which was not part of the conversation at that time period ever. And it was way more common than any of us would be comfortable today in today's world talking about. Yes.
So that was another thing too that the investigators at Maplecroft came up with, is that every time they tried to bring up the parents and the axe murders, they got the sense of pushback. A lot of pushback. They didn't want to talk about anything. Like, they're like, oh, what, she knows what happened. She's never going to come out and say it. There's going to be a lot of pushback.
That's sort of been the weird direction. Not weird. That's maybe a judgment, but that's been the specific direction that a lot of investigations have taken in like an attempt to find out the why. Did you do it? You'll see especially a lot of EVP sessions very focused on who did this murder? Did you do it? And there's almost no headway, I guess, being made. No one's ever been like, and then she confessed on our EVP, and like now we know she did it. Because I think so much of that is, again, you're talking. If you believe in that, you're experiencing something from a time period that was so repressed and so abused that is not, going to give you any information. We're approaching it from a modern point of view, the theories of there was a homosexual component between her and that they were caught and that's why she did it, or she was being sexually abused and so she finally decided to fight back against her abuser and that's why she did it, or she knew that she was being written out of the will and so she didn't want a man stealing her money, so that's why she did it. Those are all for sure possible motives, they make sense. But that is a really modern view on a situation that, that's not exactly the time period that we're dealing with. I'm so glad you said that, because the phenomenon of EVPs, I'm always on edge about, because I think, well, I would not have interpreted that as a voice unless you just primed me with what it said. And then, it's never really a back and forth conversation to me, even in the shows that are even somewhat legit that have some EVP. I always think well, that's the saddest thing ever, because that to me is a recording of an energy that's stuck here in this place. It's stuck in the woodwork or the rocks or the ground, and it's just playing itself over and over and over again. And here we all are in our sort of modern idiocy trying to have a conversation with a tape
Tammy,
recorder.
what do you think? I mean, you're the paranormal investigator of this group. I mean, what are your theories as to EVPs?
I mean, I was listening to this one podcast, and it's by Ashley Flowers, who is part of Crime Junkie. She does this amazing Paranormal one. Forgive me that I can't remember it, but she was doing an episode based on a specific haunting, but she brought up a good point that there is a term that our mind, I don't know if you guys may know this, but there is a term where in the paranormal, our mind kind of makes us believe that we're listening to something that's not there. That makes us listen to something and see something that is not there, because we're coming in with the intention knowing that it's there. So,
and our brain wants to detect patterns. That's actually like a biological imperative that keeps us safe. So it's like when you're looking at clouds, you're like, oh, that's a face, because the neurology is working like software to try and create something that we understand. And it's the same thing for auditory experiences as well.
Yeah, for me, it has to be a class A, meaning it has to be very clear and it has to be very loud, and it has to sound like a voice, not like a cough or something. There's times where I've gone to, other investigations, public investigations, and where, something terrible has happened there. Obviously, people are there wanting to know what's there and wanting to figure out how to help them. And it's funny because I just sit there with my hand oh God. They're like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? It was a man's voice.
If you guys aren't following Tammy on TikTok, please do so immediately.
So true.
You can see all of these patterns.
But that is the thing, is I think one of the things that like sort of
Yeah.
sets Tammy apart, like having done a few and like hearing the stories, is like you go in with such a perfect like openness to what is out there and what is possible, with like a discerning
Mm-hmm.
skepticism to be like, no, we're not gonna like whip ourselves into a fervor and be like, I saw the Lizzie Borden, like she is my best friend. Like, no, it's fine. Like, let's just like be truthful about what we do and don't experience, because if you are, often you will still land and be like, well, I can't explain that. So you're going to get what you want by just being truthful, as much as like often these people who are like, I personally have the only connection to this spirit. You're like, okay, great.
We mentioned
like the woman, like you guys, the woman in Britain who married the ghost of a 500-year-old pirate.
Yeah.
You don't
divorced
understand
him.
how difficult it
Yeah.
is to date during quarantine. It's nearly impossible. It's very difficult.
I mean, date
Date
a
a
ghost,
ghost.
why don't you?
Yeah, I think what Bryce is explaining is like the
interesting.
closest you can get to sort of taking that scientific method mindset to it. And what you find is what you find.
Yeah.
Like you cannot go in with an agenda and have the facts fit your story or your narrative. You have to go with what it is. That's going to be my little rant, because I'm so skeptical about all this.
And me too. Like, especially of
Yeah.
the two of us, like I would say I'm definitely more skeptical. But even in that skepticism, there have been experiences on my own and experiences with Tammy and stories that we've sort of shared that, like, even at my most skeptical moment, I still can't explain it. So then, like, where does that leave us?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's just
Yeah.
it's 50-50. Like, unless it's clear and you hear it instead of like having to replay it over and over and over again, then that is, yeah, which I'm like, if you have to play it over and over again, that it's something that is pulling from different frequencies. That's something you have to take in consideration, is that with an EVP device like that, okay, we know the source or the bank where it's pulling it from, and that's where it's inconclusive in a way. It's the same thing with SLS cameras. When you've seen it, it's like this big like computer thing. It looks like a little iPad, and it's supposed to create these little stick figures. Well, where is it pulling that from, and what bank is it pulling it from, and how can we validate this? So it's a little
I don't care how many
50-50
times
on
Ghost
that.
Adventures plays that clip over and over for me. I'm like, nope, I still don't hear that.
I know.
I don't know. I'm afraid.
Yeah, but that's the paranormal. I guess to close it is the paranormal is something that's going to be always inconclusive. We're never going to have the answer, and I feel like we're going to have the answer when we move on spiritually. So
Or when
that's
science
where I like
up,
to leave it.
maybe we just haven't discovered it yet.
Yeah. No.
I had when the science catches up. But I have, in my lifetime, I have been to a good 6 to 8 individuals who are professional clairvoyants, and they've been like phenomenal. Like, I've had like chilling experiences of no name, no background, nothing, and they have named out persons, places, things, dates, times, and been spot on. I mean, like, I've had that kind of experience, but and some of them, I mean, the ones that to me that are the most evolved just kind of shrug their shoulders and go, I don't know how this works. I really don't. I don't know. I'm tapping into something. I'm not sure what it is. And then you'll have somebody else that's like, yeah, my Indian spirit guide wind song comes to me, and like, which sounds really like wonky and weird, but the information they're giving you is pretty accurate. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing that we're gonna, at some point, there's going to be science that's going to help us understand that a lot of it, like we know now what intuition is. Intuition is basically our brain processing tons of information that we're not aware that we're processing. So it seems magical that we come up with these kind of gut feelings when no, your brain's been processing a sense of danger for 15 minutes before you got to this parking space.
Yeah.
Exactly. Our brains are the most powerful and scary things at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
So
they do so much.
And lie to you.
Yeah.
So normally
Pretty
during the
much, yeah.
summertime, you would be doing ghost barbecues at the Omen house, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of that.
I'm going to one again tonight. I'm going to one at his place. I'm going to finish. I was supposed to have, so for everyone who's here, I was supposed to have an episode of Chasing Ghosts ready for the Sunday, but tonight I wanted to catch a seance that we're going to do, because it is the 51st anniversary of the Sharon Tate murders. And that's what David Oman does every year. He has a psychic that comes in and a little like dinner, and we go downstairs and see what we can come up with. So I wanted to record that seance to add it into our episode, so that episode won't be ready for another couple of days. Because it's just that one, I felt like while editing it, I needed that, like, something else. We had a psychic that did a walkthrough with me via FaceTime, and she picked up, I'm not even joking, on a lot of things that we even posted on our Instagram. I had my hair, it felt like someone brushed their hand against my hair on the third floor.
And you had her on FaceTime, like, walking
these are
through
things
with you? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, she was on FaceTime because she's based out of North Carolina. So she was like, there's this one point she was like, I'm seeing snails. Where am I seeing snails? And one of the girls in the group was like, I have a snail on my knee. Like, it's a drawing of a snail. And there's no way she could have seen this girl, because she was like, I had her like pan to, certain rooms. So it was
and I think that's a great example too of, like, that's the most random information. Like, what does that have to do really with why you're there? Right, but that's
so much.
That's what Sonia Choquette, she's one of the clairvoyants I saw before I moved to LA, and she's really famous now and works in, personal development. And she said two things that I always found were really interesting. She says, is the information comes at you, just you're bombarded with information. She goes, I have to discern every moment of my day about, it's like looking through 4 different movies playing simultaneously on top of reality.
Yeah.
And I have to learn to ignore that. And then, but the information, when I'm sitting with someone doing a reading, all this information's coming at me, and I'm supposed to be the one to pick out what's important. And that's really hard, because I don't know necessarily what's important at this person. And then the other thing, Tammy, to kind of tie it back to what you were saying about, maybe we'll know when we're dead, is that Sonia always said is that, we are primed on a diet of horror movies and thrillers and chillers that present paranormal events as being hit with a baseball bat, as it's like this huge thing. And she said it's not. It's the opposite of that. It is infinite grades of subtlety and being aware of the subtleties, and, like, that chill that you get, or that kind of like, why am I feeling weird in this space at this time when I don't usually have this kind of physical somatic experience. And I thought that was really valuable, because everybody's like sitting in the Borden house waiting to hear a scream,
Right.
Yeah. They want to see dead bodies.
Like, when we were at the Omen house, one of the things that was really interesting, I know it's not about Lizzie Borden, my bad.
No, that's okay. We're moving on.
One of the things that we experienced, so there were so many things that were just like sensory, like how you're talking about, Dr. Scott, of just like, all of a sudden Tammy would just be like, I feel really dizzy, or like I feel like really like my equilibrium is off, or like smells and sounds, and like, some things that you're seeing that are like apparitional, I guess, but most of it was just like, I feel like Tammy always says, like, your body is your number one tool for investigating. Like, it's the thing that you're constantly checking in with, and the machine can fail you and technology can fail you, but like your instinct and like what you know to be true for yourself, that's always like reliable.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we say in therapy to our clients. You're the expert on you, so you tell me what is normal and what is off kilter for you right now.
When you're stressed out, where do you feel it in your body? Let's talk about like the tightness in your chest.
What was the place you went to in San Diego, Scott? Was that the
Whaley House? God, yeah. You guys, if you live in California, you got to go to the Whaley House in Old Town San Diego.
I've been there.
I got a shoulder. I got like a hand on my shoulder. I got pushed while I was on the stairs. My husband, Dan, who is completely agnostic about all this, turned to me like wide-eyed going, what just happened?
I just had an intense headache the entire time.
My husband, too.
When I went with you.
That's sort of what happens to me, is that I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong. I'm kind of disconnected from my body anyway. I'm like, my arm's broken, and I'm like, it's fine.
I need like 4 ibuprofen. That's all I know.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel good. And then afterwards, Tammy's like, that's what's happening. I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah, that's actually clever about the David Omen house. I mean, people can pan it for the paranormal, but when my husband went last weekend, he did bring up a good point because he's very, very, skeptic. But he's like, it's science. It's the environment. He said something about the electromagnetic fields being 2,000 to 4,000 milligates.
Yeah.
Like that's not normal. Of course you're not gonna feel normal. Like that's why people feel dizzy, but they think, oh, they're being possessed by something that's there, and it's like it's actually science because I feel a little off. And when he explained the EMFs, it's like, oh, okay, that's scientific, and it's been documented that if you're in a location with high EMFs, you're going to feel off kilter.
Yeah, there's another phenomenon, and Timmy, you probably know more about this than I do, but I remember seeing it on one of the documentaries about some places that are sort of, known to have paranormal activity. When they usually find water pathways deep, like riparian rivers, a quarter of a mile underneath the house. And there's something about that affects the energy in that whole geographical area.
Yeah, it's like Brackenfern is a really good example because they have a natural spring that literally is underneath the bed and breakfast, as to which, why supposedly Bugsy Siegel and his, clan would always make the liquor out of that water during the bootleg era. And I mean, that it is a natural form of energy, it's conduction of energy. Oh, of course. So, I mean, you think of other cities, and we mentioned this before too, St. Louis, even New Orleans. I mean, they're next to the Mississippi, this powerful body of water.
So
it's interesting. One of the things when I'm teaching people coping skills. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was just going to ask. So tonight is the 51-year anniversary of the Tate murders.
Yeah, because her and her friends J.C. Bring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech, and Steve Parent, unfortunately, I mean, they were killed between 8 to 9, the 8th and the 9th. Yeah, so today is the anniversary, and he always has like a little dinner and seance, the night of. So we'll see what happens. But it's a very small crowd of us, we always come in with our masks. Like when we went there last weekend,
are you going to be live streaming it all
and stuff? So
on anything?
I think I might live. I think I'm going to.
And Bryce, you'll be there, right?
For sure.
In spirit.
Oh.
Is this your guys? Is this your first time on Get Vocal?
Yes.
Oh, it's my second time.
I'm telling you, if you will start your own Get Vocal channel, I will be a subscriber. I think you guys should be on here as well as your podcast.
Okay.
This has been a great forum for us to connect with listeners, and you never know what to expect. It's a great medium, so please.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Get Vocal, TikTok. I mean, there are all these like great social media hosts and stuff. I just want to say too, according to the Dark Zone Productions emailed me, and they are going to be doing a 4-day live streaming event like they did with the Conjuring House from August the 28th through the 31st at the Lizzie Borden house. So if you go on their website, darkzone.com, you can buy tickets. I think they're $20, but it gives you a 4-day, 24 access into every single room of the Lizzie Borden house. So go and check them out. Just wanted to drop that because they contacted me. They're like,
I know. I remember when they did the Conjuring one. I was like, tell me. Right?
I was there. I was like,
propping your eyes open to watch all day.
That house was insane. You see things in front of you occurring, and you heard voices. It was crazy. David Omen is doing another one too on the 23rd to the 25th of August as well. He's doing a 2-day live streaming from the Omen house. So he'll be posting links for
I do watch
tickets on his
website.
To see the
little Beetlejuice figures.
Yeah. When we were there, we were in the second floor and we heard a loud, like it was a thud. And then we went back on the camera. I'm going to wait till the live streaming to present this footage, but you see it. I've never seen it happen. David has never seen it happen, but the figure on his fish tank went like that. It was humongous force. it didn't tap forward. It was like someone like smacked it off of it, and you could hear it. It was, and you felt it too. Ooh. It was like, what was that? So we have that footage. I'll be presenting it on our Instagram during his live stream.
I think we've set people up for a creepy Saturday rest of your night or morning, wherever you are in the world. You're welcome. Pay a little tribute to Sharon Tate and her friends tonight, if you have a moment to just think about them. And thank you guys so much for joining us.
It's so good to see you guys.
I hate COVID.
Good to see you. We miss
hang out
you so
and grab
much.
a meal or coffee and just chat. So
well, the Grove has lots of air. I just met a friend at Cafe Marmalade in the Grove. Everybody was wearing masks. All of the restaurant tables outside have tons of airflow. You can socially distance and still have a drink. So let's plan something soon.
No, serious. I really miss you guys. That's so funny that you guys mentioned do Pars in the very beginning. I'm like, I miss that.
Yes. So we did way back in October of 2018. We did a crossover episode on The Exorcist. So we talked about all of the true crime related to that movie, as well as paranormal aftermath with you guys. So folks, go on back into our archives from almost 2 years ago and check that out, please.
I can't believe it was almost 2 years ago.
Oh, yes.
Time is irrelevant now anyway, but
exactly.
It's crazy.
Well, and thank you everyone else who is in the room with us for joining us. We appreciate it as always. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks back here on Get Vocal. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.